to today's video tutorial. Halloween is literally right around the corner, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make a really adorable hair clip. And the hair clip we're going to make is this really cute Frankenstein. I've seen this on Pinterest, I think it was, and I thought, oh my gosh, how cute is that? And wanted to give it a shot, and I thought it turned out really cute. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to make this. So the material you're going to need is 7/8 inch wide ribbon, and you're also going to need a piece of 3/8 inch ribbon to line an alligator clip with, which I've already got mine lined. You're going to need a 2-inch piece of lime green. You're going to need a 1-inch piece of black, and you're also just going to need some scrap. Right around 2 inches will work just fine. You're going to need 2 pieces of black and then 1 piece of green. The scraps are going to be used to make like the hair on his head, the nose, the mouth, and then the bolts coming out of his neck. You're also going to need some thread with a needle, and you want it to be tied at the end in a double knot. It's not very difficult stitching. Since he does have a stitch on him, I thought it would be funner to actually stitch the stitch on him than to just use ribbon. So you're going to need that, and then you're also going to need your lighter to heat seal the ends of your ribbon. You're going to need a pair of scissors to cut, and then something to measure out your ribbon. You're also going to need your hot glue gun. You're also going to need a set of googly eyes. Before we get started, you want to go ahead and heat seal all the ends of your ribbon with your lighter to prevent it from fraying. I've already done all my pieces except for this one, and I think I'm not going to worry about these just yet because I'm going to have to use my, I wouldn't worry about heat sealing the ends of your scrap ribbon since we're going to be using it to actually cut out our stuff. So go ahead and heat seal your 2-inch lime piece and your 1-inch black piece though. Okay, and once we've done that, go ahead and also line your alligator clip. Now we're going to take our 2-inch lime piece for the Frankenstein's head, and we are just going to shape it. And by doing that, you're just going to take your scissors, and we're going to cut down at the bottom, kind of like at a U shape. So just like that. And then take your lighter and heat seal. Okay. Once you've done that, take your 1-inch piece of black ribbon, and about midway we're just going to start cutting across in a zigzag. And once we've done that, we'll heat seal the ends where we've cut, and then we're just going to glue it over the top part of Frankenstein's head. And this can get kind of tricky if you're not careful because you're cutting right where the ribbon will fray. So if you want, when you get like halfway, you can go ahead and take your lighter and you can go ahead and just run it across this just to heat seal it. That way you feel a little more comfortable going the rest of the way before, instead of worrying about it falling apart on you. Okay. So go ahead and heat seal the end. And there we go. So take your hot glue gun and just run a line of glue across the top there where it's straight. And take your hairline and just put it over the top of that. And if you've got some glue that's just kind of hanging out the sides there, you can heat it and then just run your finger across the edges. Okay, so I got that part done. Now what you want to do is we are going to go ahead and place our eyes. So go ahead and grab one, put just a little dotted glue on the back, you don't want a whole lot. Found out the hard way that by putting too much, too fast, it actually melted through. You just want to put it just a little ways down, but not too far down, because we still need room for the mouth and the eye, or the mouth and the nose. And if you want, you can put your eyeballs directly together. You can space them out, just however you want to do it. It's totally up to you. Go ahead and do your other eye. I'm going to space this one just a little bit. Now we will go ahead and cut out our nose and ears. So take your scrap piece of green lime ribbon and go ahead and make like an oval shape. Okay, so you can see mine there. Just going to heat seal around those edges where it's already fraying. As you can see, that's what I mean by fraying, whenever it starts to kind of unravel. There's our nose. And whenever you place your nose on here, so that you want it to be noticeable, put it on there. As you can see on the grosgrain, it's going horizontal. So when you put your nose on here, instead of it going horizontal too, I find that it looks better if you put it on where the lines are running vertical, so that you can see the nose. It looks a little more 3D. So place a dot of glue just underneath the eyes there in the center. And then stick your nose on. I'm not too crazy about that part up there, so I'm going to snip that off. That's kind of where my ribbon got hard from where I melted it. Left a little thick spot there. There we go. Now we'll do our ears. So we'll just go on the edge for our ears, and we're just going to cut out like a half circle. Like that. About the same size as you did your nose. And heat seal the edges of that. So we've got one ear. I'll just set that to the side and go ahead and cut one more. Try to get it the same size if you can. My scissors are not as sharp as they once were. Okay, so once you do that, go ahead and heat seal that one as well. It's really fraying. That's the only thing about this hair clip, is it can get a little tricky if you don't heat seal the ends rather quickly. So there's both of our ears. I'll go ahead and attach those, and where you want to line those up, you want to line them up with the eyes. So what you want to do is on the end that is flat, not rounded, just place a dot, or, well, little line, dot, whichever, of glue there. And just glue it to the back of the head there. Do the same with the other side. I think I got one ear almost too small. It works. I'm gonna go ahead and heat seal that ear a little bit more. There. Okay. So we got our ears attached. Sorry guys, I'm like major perfectionist here. I see little things and it just drives me crazy. Okay, there we go. Now I'm happy. Okay, next what you want to do is we are going to take our needle and thread. So make sure you go ahead and got that double knot at the end. Doesn't need to be too long. Turn your head over. We're going to place the stitching over here. Or you could put it over here, or you could put it here, just wherever you want to, but I'm going to put it up here in the corner. You want to start from the back end, and we're going to start with a stitch going vertical. So make sure that you're putting it in the right spot, and you got to be careful when you do this. Make sure you are not pulling your thread too tightly. It's best to use a really thin needle if you can, because the thicker, you're going to rip your ribbon. So as you can see, the knot's going to catch there on the back. And we're just going to go at an angle with it. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go back down. And once you've done that, just find on the back where you're going to go make two, well, we're going to do 2 stitches over it, but you want to start on one end towards the bottom, come up, and we're going to go over a stitch. Just like that. And then we're going to, you can do it from the bottom or the top, doesn't matter. I go about right here. Now we're going to go back down. And then you're done. Just got to tie it off in the back. Make sure you don't pull it too tight because you don't want to rip your ribbon. But now we've got a little stitch there. So turn it over and find an area where you can tie it off. And make sure you don't pull too tight. I'll show you a trick that you can actually do so that your thread doesn't slide out. Just a couple little pulls will work. And cut off that excess. Now at this point, if you want, it's optional. I like to do it because, like I've said, I'm like a perfectionist. I like my stuff to be secure. Just take your hot glue gun and put a dot of glue on the back of that stitching. And you can either use something or your finger. I can just use my finger. Just hold it there for a minute until it kind of seals. Like that. This way it just kind of all stays together. So now he's got a cute little stitch there. And if you're not a stitching person, you can always use, you know, some of your black ribbon, but I don't know, that just seems like it may be a little hard to get it that thin because of it fraying. So now we will go ahead and make the mouth. So take one of your pieces of black ribbon, and we're just going to kind of do, I mean, you can do any kind of mouth you want. As you can tell on this one, I just kind of did a little wiggly worm looking mouth. You can do a sad mouth or just any kind of mouth you want to do. So I'm just going to kind of do one like I did on that one. And if you want to, just be kind of zigzag with it, but less zigzag and more wormy looking, I'll say. And you can go about halfway. About an inch is all you need. And if you want to, certainly go ahead and do it kind of thick, because once you actually take your lighter and you go to heat seal the ends, it's going to shrink the ribbon anyways and make it small. And, you know, basically what you're doing is you're just shaping your mouth with your lighter. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you can curve it by holding the lighter in a certain section longer. Sorry guys, that's my bird. Happen to be right beside her cage. So my mouth is a little too long, so I'm going to trim some of it off. And like you see in there, if I just hold my lighter in place for a minute, it will kind of make its own little curves. So, see? I'm going to trim it up a little bit though, so it looks less, kind of looks crusty, because it's basically cooked from my lighter. So trim off some of these ends. There we go. I kind of like that one. Looks almost like a mustache. Anyways, go ahead and place some glue on the back of your mouth once you get done with it. I mean, you could be more simple with it, you know, just cut out a U shape for like a sad or a smiley face. Just flip it upside down if you want a sad face. So there we have the mouth, and I've got a little bit of glue here that I'm going to try to get off. Guess Coco's going to talk to us. She is a firecracker. Yep, there's our mouth. Okay guys, so now for the bolts, you're just going to take your other piece of black ribbon and just cut out a line. And I go almost to the end, but not quite. And I just give myself a little more play than, you know, what you would actually need, because you never know if you need to take more off than what you already have, or keep what you got. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to shape one end rounded by just ovaling it there at the end, like that. So you got one flat end and then one like oval end. And you want to heat seal this end with your lighter, like that. Then take your other lighter and go in like that. And do the same with the other side. Just go in. And sometimes it doesn't always work. Like, mine still went flat, so I'm just going to shape it by cutting in. That's why it's always good to get it, you know, make sure your ribbon's kind of big. There we go. So now we got a boat. A boat? Did I say boat or bolt? Okay, there's one. And do the same thing again. So we've got two. Just go almost all the way. Go ahead and shape one end. So you see, we're just kind of rounding it at the end is all we're doing. And then just go in like that. You just got to play around with it with your lighter to get your ends exactly how you want them. Mine looks a little funky, so I'm going to fix it a little bit here. Okay, so now I've got two bolts to put on his neck, and they don't have to be perfect as long as they look somewhat the same. On the flat end, even if you got it long, you can actually cut some of this extra off, because all you're going to actually see is about that much anyways, so you can actually see how much extra I've got, but it's going to be on the back, so it doesn't really matter. Just take your glue and place a line or a dot of it there, and then right where the mouth is where you want to put these. So about right here. Just like that. And then do the same to the other side. And we're just gluing these behind the head. And make sure you get it somewhat even. And if you want to go back and reshape anything, you can. Just be careful to not, you know, heat any of this, because it would kind of mess up the shape. Okay, so there he is. Now all you have to do is glue him onto your alligator clip, about like that. I always like to do it where the ears are going straight across, just like this. So just on the back of the head, just place a line of glue along the ears. And you got your cute little Frankenstein. How adorable is that? Go check me out on RibbonsBowtique at Facebook. And I'm currently taking orders, and if you don't see anything you like, you can definitely send me an email or inbox me a message, and I will definitely take on a challenge. I love customizing anything. Making new things is definitely a lot of fun. So thank you all for watching. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and definitely if you guys have any tutorial requests that you want me to do, inbox me and I'll be more than happy to do it. Bye guys.